Howdy everyone, Wolf here with another video. So I'm kind of doing this video impromptu. We were gonna have an AMA on it, on the topic, but I figured I would go ahead and do a recording first. That way I had the recording, and I may not record the AMA, I'm not really too sure yet. But either way, I'm kind of going to go over the best way to kind of level up and maintain if you're a low spending player or even a free to play player, and some of the things you can do to kind of further that account without spending a lot of money. So this is my free to play alt. I can show you the days. I've already done the login rewards, but I can show you how many days. Has not been 100 days on this alt yet. So this alt was made a little bit further. My main account is 120 days. So this account is about 20 days from the start of the kingdom. So it is a little bit behind. Um, but as you can see, it's 8 million power. I mean, keep level 19. Um, but yeah, I'm just going to kind of go over some tips and tricks that I do on this account to kind of keep it growing without spending any money. So usually the first thing I do every single day when I log into any account is I clear my notifications and I go through the process of taking care of everything that I would do daily on any account I play. So I always work my way from left to right, so to speak. So I'm going to go ahead and do my free summons. And even though I have enough to buy the 15 because it's not an event, that's the other thing when you are a free to play or really a free to play or low spending player is you want to maximize your events and event rewards. So the hero event just ended yesterday. So because that ended yesterday, it's not something I'm going to put a lot of priority on today. So the next step for me is I'm going to go ahead and do my shrine. I always do steel because the one thing I've noticed when you're not spending a lot of stamina, gold on stamina, you kind of you lack for steel and you lack for basic materials a lot more than if you're buying constantly. So um, another great tip is get in an allegiance that has gifts and gift rewards. I mean, this is 8k gold just for me logging in and being a part of my allegiance. Um, that helps immensely collect my daily reward. I've not crafted a cleaver. One of the things I have not done on my account is I have not gotten the cleaver from the dragon feed bonuses. I'm kind of waiting until I'm getting to house 30 to really craft anything major. But as far as the dragon feed, if I can find it real quick. I've not crafted the cleaver because A, I haven't got enough to be able to get blue. I could probably get away with doing green 30, but I wanted to wait till I got to level 30 to craft really anything major like this. So I have not crafted the cleaver yet. That's probably going to be something I craft next dragon event though. My dragon is 23. Like I said, once again, I haven't really spent anything on it. My tactic, even on my main account, is I always do the blue food. I feel like that's the best food to do every single day. When it comes to events, I will prioritize these. Going down from legendary, epic to exquisite. But on the daily, I usually use these. These, even on my main account and even the free to play account, I never really use these for the daily feeds. I use those for mostly for event trade in during the dragon event. So, but I'll feed him. I'm still working on the hatchling tree on this alt. So, um, because he's free to play, I probably will, once I finish the hatchling tree, probably focus a little bit more on whelp than I would on, say, a main account where the dragon's going to be pushing adult quicker. So go through the process of collecting this. Um, the one thing I will say I have not done a very good job of is my med tents. On my main account, I always maximize med tents. As you can see, I have not maximized my med tents here. I have built all of them. I have not maximized them. And I don't prioritize war camps like I do on my main account as well. Because it is free to play, I'm trying to do as much resource generation as I can. Um, so that's something that I have not prioritized as med tents. I do have some decent capacity, but it's something that I do need to work on. Probably next build event, I will try and maximize that out. Um, but yeah, so I start with building everything. I always have one war camp. on my free to play that I will demolish every day and just rebuild so I can knock out the daily. That's the other big thing when you are a free to play player is you want to maximize not only just the things you get from your daily quest rewards, but just the house bonus you get. So I try and do as many of the dailies as I can. So that's why I make sure to do all the construction and knock out that construction, the upgrade buildings one. And same thing with the Maester. Maester Tower is usually my next stop. I go here and I will do 2 expeditions and then a research. I could probably do something else, um, but I like this one because it's usually 2 minutes, assuming I'm in the right gear. So bam, knock that out, and then I just need to start the next one. Um, as far as research goes. And once again, as you can see, I maximize my economy. I feel like economy and logistics, especially on a free to play where I'm not necessarily doing as much PvP fighting, um, that's something I can get to later down. So, like on my main account, where I've put a premium on basically my military and advanced, and I focus more down here on my free to play account, I'm more concerned with being able to just carry on, so to speak. So, but now my Maester's knocked out, the next step for me is craft equipment. Same thing like on my main account, I do have presets set up. I have one that's basically my infantry, creature hunter, healing, and crafting. That's the only 4 presets I have on this. On my main account, I have 12. Here I just have 4 because these are the 4 that matter for me. I'm not worried about too much else. Um, but the crafting one, if I show you my preset manager, I haven't even named it even. Go here. As you can see, I got Gendry. I haven't even done any of the BGs on my free-to-play alt to even get Mance. So I don't necessarily have the best crafting efficiency on it, and I probably won't until I get that. As far as my crafting gear set goes, it's just basically Tide Lords. Nothing major. Crafted it when I was at house level 20, and I haven't upgraded it. I'm sure when the new gear drops, hopefully I'll be 30 or 35 by then, so it'll make a little bit more of a difference when it comes time to craft that utility gear. But like I said, I mean, he's an infantry, so I have the new infantry gear, creature farming gear, and then my Tide Lord set. This one I was messing with as a defensive set for like nodes, but for the most part, I really don't use it. These are really the only 3 sets as far as equipment goes that I use. Um, so basically, the crafting preset is literally just Gendry on the council and then the Tide Lords. So, but as far as the recipe goes, ooh, what is that? Oh, it's because I have that filter on. Um, so when it comes to crafting on my main account, and we've talked about this before, I usually have the pathway going continuously. For my free-to-play account, like I said, I'm more focused. I'm not going to be on this very long, so I just want to focus on knocking out my dailies. That being said, once I've knocked out my 3 to get my daily done, I've started going on the pathway. So like for example, this robe here, this poor robe, is only crafted just so I can deconstruct it, just for scrap. As we've gone over before, I try and craft up to level 25, 30 poor, literally just so I have the scrap. So during certain crafting events, I can take that scrap in, put it towards which I can't do during this particular crafting event, but I'll put it towards the flux that's available, whether that be the season flux or the basic flux or sometimes the steel package. I put a premium on that because it's one of the better return on investments. I can craft that, particularly once you get really good steel efficiency gear, but even at mid steel efficiency, you're saving basically basic crafting mats by doing that and then breaking it down for scrap and then turning that scrap into basic flux and then turning the basic flux into um, the basic mats. So as you see, I don't have a whole lot right here, so won't be doing too much crafting even though it's a crafting event. Most of the time, my goal on any event, like I said, is just to complete it. But there's certain events that's just not going to happen. So like for example, a dragon event, unless you're buying, you're not going to complete it. You do what you can to complete it as far as most as you can, and I'll do the same thing with the crafting. So as you can see, not doing real hot right now. Like I said, it's the first time I've logged in today. But the next step for me as far as crafting goes is I do try and do a little bit of the pathway. So I think I finished on level 15, so I now need to go to level 20 to try and continue to work on getting this gold legendary up. So even though I'm not house level 35 yet, I want to start working on getting gold templates up as far as I can. Even not being 30 yet, not being able to craft that. I will soon, but I still want to try and get that to a 25, and then I can start turning my 25 legendaries into 30s and so on and so forth, and then I can actually start working on the armory a little bit more. So, like I said, I have that 20, so we're going to go to, or the 15, so I'm going to go to a 20, get rid of that, turn it back to season 1. So 20 is turban is usually what I go for. Sometimes you can go for the wool coif. I said this before during the crafting AMA. Sometimes it's really just about what match you have. Um, so for example, I'm going to go blue, blue, legendary. Whereas on my main account, I'd probably do exquisite here, but because it's free to play, I have to roll the dice a little bit more. Um, might might go ahead and try. How much is that going to take? No, I am going to go purple on these because I don't like that percentage. Percentage is bad enough. If it was, say, um, the 15 boots or the 25 pants, I probably would try the blue. But given the fact this is already uh, down amount for the percentage at level 20, because there's no three crafting basic mats for it, I'm not going to get the 40% that you would normally get on most of the odds. So I'm going to go ahead and roll that up to exquisite. So I'll start that going. Got the next daily. Now at this point, I'm going to go through and start knocking these out little by little. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to my hero tower. I'm going to go ahead and pop my actions. I literally do this before I hunt and heal and do everything else just so I can knock out the daily. I'm only usually going to be able to get 2 unless I'm on for a longer period of time and go back. Next step is actually doing the daily to level up a hero. Um, in this case, the way I prioritize it, I've been prioritizing the green. I've been trying something on my free-to-play account where I prioritize green over anything else because the sooner I get the green to max level, because you're getting more greens every single time you do a summons, I want to try and see if it gets you more stags earlier in the game, but haven't really figured out if that's going to work or not. It's just something I figured I'd try on it because this isn't something I'm going to put a whole lot of focus on. Um, that's the hero I really want. I found out about this little stat a couple days ago, and I want to get her leveled up. So the way I'm going to prioritize it is, like I said, most of the greens available to upgrade a little bit quicker as well. So you can do 10 blue or 15 green. I kind of alternate back and forth depending on what I have. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and use the 10 blue. Go ahead and do that, collect my reward, and then I'm on to the next thing, which is open resource boxes. I'm going to have to open up food. A lot of times I will try and open up steel if I have it, because it's protected, but I'm going to need to open this up anyway, just so I can do some of the barracks, or the training. So as far as the training goes, I usually try and knock out a T1 set first, and I'll probably speed train. I don't normally speed train. I'll usually just start this when I first log in, and before I go to bed, I will collect it and knock out those dailies. But because it's already a little bit late tonight, I probably am going to speed it up, which, like I said, I normally wouldn't do, but tonight I'm going to. Because most of the time I save speed ups and any gold I am going to use on um, things like events, but in this case, we're not going to. We're just going to knock it out. Because he's infantryman, my next step is I'm just going to set a crafting on, or a set of swords going, because that is my primary troop type. And then I'll call that a day. Now, if this was a training event, it'd be a little bit different tactic for me, but that's basically it. So go back and continue my daily process. collecting these. As you can see, I've almost got it done. So once I do the kill creatures and finish opening up a couple more boxes, I'll basically be done. Usually you just need to do 25, so even if I just started here, knock that out right away. So usually the next step before I even start doing anything else is the um, sending of the reinforcement march, just so I can knock out that one. Um, Anytime I do like any kind of reinforcement, or I'm sending a march out to farm or anything like that, I'm going to switch the creature here just so it's quicker. Sometimes I do have to look at the map, see where I am. In this case, I'm holding a spot basically for my main account anyway, outside of Storm's End for this weekend. So I'm just going to reinforce here because it's right here. And then the next step is I'm going to go ahead and start farming. I don't really prioritize the caravans as much as I do on my main account. I just want to knock this out. And the other thing to keep in mind is what I'll typically do is I'll do a search to see if I find anything, and then I will send my dragon march out. Once again, if this was my main account, I don't use my dragon to farm, but because of the way this account is set up, I'm going to use my dragon a little bit. So I'm going to throw out that for the main march, and then I'm going to try and knock out some smaller marches with just some regular marches, so to speak, without the dragon. And the reason I do that, even at the low levels, is because this daily, it doesn't matter what level of creature you hit. So my goal is just to get this daily knocked out as quickly as possible. So usually that means I'm probably going to try and knock out some low level creatures just to complete it. And part of the reason I do that is because I want to save on stamps. So basically, my priority, even on my main account with gold, is still kind of the same. Like you want to make sure you have enough bubbles, at least a decent amount of teleports, and then finally enough for stam. So like during like an elk event, I'm putting a little bit more of a priority on my use for gold being towards stam. Um, Gold is usually at a premium, particularly if you're not buying packs. So you want to kind of do your best to mitigate any major expenditures. Um, Usually, if there's an event that has a lot of shields as a reward, I highly recommend going for it. As you can see, I mean, even like I said, this is a free to play account as far as teleports go. I've got 18 ports and almost 214 24-hour shields. I have an alarm I use to make sure that the I get shielded every single day. Um, but yeah, that's kind of the way I prioritize. Anytime there's an event rewards, whether that be an exchange for verbosity loans, whether that be really just any kind of event that rewards shields or teleports, put a premium on that. You're going to save gold by doing that too. So that's something else to keep in mind. Even if you have to use gold in place of honors, it's going to be a cheaper option for you. So we'll keep knocking these out. This one's a little bit further, but we'll go ahead and send it. And send it. And I should be just about done. Like I said, even once I finish this, I still want to try and knock these out as much as to completion as can. And you should do this on any account just so you get more of your house level completed. Because even once you get this done, every single other one that you do, I mean, you're going to be rewarded house XP. So that's why it's important to try and knock out as many of the dailies as you can. One thing I do like about my main account is I have Cav, at least to be able to farm with, whereas infantry and range can typically be a lot slower, so it's a little bit more of a annoyance to farm, but we're doing what we can. That's basically it. Like those are some of the tips and tricks I use on a free-to-play account. Like I said, it's really all about maximizing what you have and holding on to what matters most. The best way I could say it. Um, in particular, the events going on right now, I really don't have a whole lot I can exchange for. But like I said, put your best foot forward to, like, okay, here for example, the climb. I can get shields. So that's something else to keep in mind. Like, I can get shields with this event. So, and I usually try and, my tactic on strategic nodes is 8k T1 cab. I do that on my main account. I do that on my free-to-play account. It clears the node, it saves on healing bills, and it gets the event completion, because that's the main thing. Once I finish all my dailies, I'm probably going to go back to see how much of the crafting event I can knock out. Because like I said, the whole point is you want to do your best to complete events, no matter what it takes. Usually during the climb, I can knock out a good chunk of getting shields with the iron squares. Like, I'm going to be able to get, 3 or 4, maybe 5 shields, and then I can also get gear. So we'll see how much gear I can actually craft here in a minute. But that's basically it. Um, it's all about maximizing everything you can um, on those event rewards, getting yourself in a group that has um, good gifting, good people that buy packs. When you're a free to play, that's a little bit more of a premium. I mean, as you can see, it's not like I'm lacking for gold on the account. And a lot of people also say, well, I can't really do a whole lot PvP wise. Can I really help? Yeah, you can. So like I said, I'm going to go back to, I'm going to craft. Well, the more I craft, the more we're going to get higher on the leaderboards. There's a lot of times where I will be, particularly on the climb, and I may do a second video on this weekend, since that's what we have coming up. I'm going to be able to do climb on this account and my main account. I'm going to be doing nodes both on both of them. Um, I'm going to be able to take the strategic terrain stuff, the scrap that you get from it, and use it on both accounts. Usually on, I have another alt as well, but usually on my alts, I'm coming in top 10 usually. And right now I'm at the low end of the bracket because I just got to 19 a couple weeks ago. I kind of wish I'd stayed at 18 because I was leading the crap out of that bracket. But when I get to 21, I probably am not going to push 22 for a very long time, because I kind of want to stay at the high end of the bracket just because of the ability to get higher on the event rewards. So, but that's it, guys. That's basically all it is. You just want to do your best. Use your gold sparingly. As you can see, I've used it on Stam a few times because, like I said, that is definitely worth it. And I should finish the creatures after these 3 hits. Um, but that's basically it. Like I said, just maximizing what you can, um, and conserving what you can as well. So, like, when it comes to this build, we have a Varys event coming up, so I probably will try and push keep 20. Um, I'm not going to push anything that requires more than what I have. I'm not going to use gold to get keystones. I'm going to use what I have and what I've farmed to kind of do my best to push forward without having to necessarily um, put a hamper on what I've already accumulated. As far as the crafting event goes, I do want to open some of these before that starts, or before I actually get deep into it. As you can see, like I said, all of these rewards basically came from the last climb event we had, last strategic train event we had. Um, these are a little bit harder for free to play to get without buying, say, flux packs. So that's why I put a premium on those as well. As you can see, I also have a lot of house rewards I probably need to open up and use. The only one I probably won't open is this chest down here. And the reason being is I can't change it to the guaranteed version. So if you don't know, you can get um, the poor crafting material chest on some rewards, and I've only got 694 currently. But you can take that uh, chest basically and go into the basic recipe tab, and once you have a K of them, you can change them in for basically guaranteed assortment of crafting materials. So I usually only do that when I have a K, and right now I don't. So that's something else to keep in mind is the writ I only use for the extra march slot. usually once again during strategic terrain events. I try and go really hard during strategic terrain on my free to play account because it is very, very rewarding, and you can get a lot out of it, and you can do very well without having to necessarily burn a lot of your troops. But yeah, that's basically it, guys. If you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. Drop a comment in Discord or on YouTube. Um, Maybe I'll hop back on this weekend. I know, like I said, I want to do an full AMA on this, where you guys can also ask questions. Um, so maybe this weekend during the strategic terrain, we'll do that. No, I was going to put it off till Friday. I don't know if the climb will start by then. Scroll, come on. 2 days, so yeah, it'll be Saturday when this starts. So I was going to try and do the AMA Friday, but maybe I'll try and push that to Saturday. I don't know. Storms End opens. I want to make sure I protect that on my main account. So we'll see what happens. But that's basically it. But if you guys do have questions, let me know. Um, Basically, now at this point, I should have finished my dailies. I'm lagging a little bit. Do apologize for that. But now I finished my dailies, so the last step for me is I'm going to knock out a few of the other ones. So, like for example, the healing one. And then I'm going to send my 3 marches off to gather, so I can start knocking out those. And then the rest of my time is basically going to be spent crafting, and trying to, like I said, maximize my crafting event rewards. Um, but yeah, so started to heal. Like so you can see, I've knocked out pretty much most of my dailies except for the gathering ones, and I'm going to start knocking on those right here. And then basically after that, I'm going to go right back to crafting and see how high I can get crafting on the leaderboard. The nice thing about this particular crafting event, it doesn't matter what I craft, it's going to give me points towards it. So, like I said, this is the time during an event is about the only time I'll try and actually force use speed ups or gold, because this is where you're going to want to just so you can get that event completion. So right here, I lost the gold roll. I'm going to start right back over. So as you can see, lost that roll, so we're just going to hold on to that piece and use as an upgrade piece later. I say upgrade, I mean like once I have like 4 purples, I can use it to upgrade. That's basically it. I'm going to do just like I would on my main account, and I'm going to start at the bottom and work my way up. So, um, as far as the wearable gear, um, you might consider crafting that if that's something you were needing in the moment. I don't necessarily need any right now. I'll craft the new utility set when it comes out. Um, and eventually, at some point down the line, I may upgrade my infantry set, but I'm not in a rush to do it. Same thing with the hunting set. Once I hit 30, I always upgrade my hunting set pieces, um, because I want to make sure that I can hit the highest level creatures possible. Um, as you can see, like I said, I just did that to knock out the daily. But if I was going to be on longer, if this was say like a weekend, I would be focused on just hitting 27s or just hitting event creatures, oak, rallies, whatever it is. So, but that's basically it. I'm just going to keep crafting and try and knock out the event as high as I can. So, alrighty, well, we'll see you guys next time. Have a good night.